this is John from My First Ukulele. Today I'm going to show you how you can plug in and use speakers with one of these or one of these. Ukuleles have different ways that you can plug them in, and the one over there has just an input jack and is using a piezo microphone, and something like this has these pickups right here. And so you're going to want something a little bit different for both of those. I'm going to show you some different options today and hopefully help you figure out your amplification needs. So without further ado, let's get started. Before you select an amplifier that you need to be thinking about what your use case is going to be. So are you doing this mainly to hear your own ukulele better? Are you just going to be playing in your practice space that you have? Or do you want to be able to perform in front of people and you need, a small speaker or something like that? Or do you need to be playing on stage, with a live band and you need to be cranking out a lot of volume? So that's really an important question you need to ask yourself first before we select an amp. So let's start the smallest. This is called a headphone amplifier. This is my favorite small one. It basically just plugs into your instrument jack. And so all instrument jacks have a 1/4 inch jack. And so this plugs in here, and then this turns on right here. And then you'd plug in some headphones into this bottom jack right here. So I've got some headphones around my neck. I plug it in. And then when I put my headphones on, I can hear that it's playing in the background. And it can get very loud. These Fender ones can get quite loud when you're playing out of them. And this is probably very well suited for an electric ukulele. When I say electric, I mean these pickups right here, not just the piezo microphone that we've got. Now, it does do clean signals only, so if you need a really nice sounding, clean sound, you can do that on your ukulele as well. But these are really great. I love all the different settings. There's about, I'm going to guess, like 8 to 10 different amplifiers that you can run through. And then it has effects like delay, reverb, all kinds of different things on there. So really nice if you are traveling and you just want to be able to hear yourself play, especially an electric instrument like this. This is a really great practice tool. Not only that, but it has Bluetooth capability where you can stream something to it to play along with, and then you can mix your own sound into that mix. Really cool. It sounds very complicated, but I promise you it's very simple to use. Not the cheapest amplifier for what it is, but I find that it's very, very worth it when I need something quiet where I can practice and I can travel with it in my backpack, no problem. The next amplifier I want to talk to you about is this one here from Luna. This is called the Suitcase amplifier, and I bought this a few years ago. I just needed a really small, like kind of travel friendly amplifier, and this definitely fit the bill for sure. I don't use it too much right now, but it's got this little speaker in the very front, and it has some connections here on the side. It is battery powered. It has 9-volt battery power. And here we have, I'm just going to turn it this way so you can see it. We've got volume. And then we've got a tone knob, which really just, it kind of rolls off different parts. So on this side, it might be a little bit more bass. And then if you go to this side, it just brings out the treble a little bit more. It has a headphone jack that you can plug into for your personal practice. And it has an auxiliary in. So if you wanted to have some music playing and you play along with it, you can do that. And then it has a input for plugging in. So if you don't have the battery, you can use this. So here's the cool part about it. So it has like, it opens up, and on the inside, you've got the back of your speaker here. You have a little bit of storage for like if you wanted to put a instrument cable, you put that in there, and then you have a little compartment also. Maybe you want to put some picks or something like that in there, or I don't know, maybe even like a audio device that you could take your audio and send it through this. So this is pretty good. I'm going to play through it just for a second so you can hear it. So in order to play through it, you need to have an instrument cable. I like these curly cables. These are by Maka. I got them on Amazon, and they never tangle really because they're always in this shape. So I really enjoy those. After untangling chords forever, I decided to get those. And I also know they're mine, where other chords, people can get them mixed up. So you want to plug it in, one of the sides into the side. I prefer the right angle jack to go into this side so that it can sit in my lap without running into my leg. And then you're going to take the other side and you're going to send it into the input of the amp like this, just like that. All right, so once you plug it in, you turn on your amplifier. I've got my volume turned up to like 8 or something like that. And then my tone I'm going to put in the middle. And then on your own ukulele, you're going to probably have some knobs. There are some ukuleles that don't have anything. It just has a jack on it. I'm thinking of maybe the Hummingbird ukuleles by Epiphone. They don't have anything like that. But a lot of them have a built-in tuner like this. And then there's a button that, or the two buttons that you can adjust the tone and the volume, right? And it also rolls off the low end and the high end, right? So I got it in the middle, and then my volume, I'm going to bring up about halfway. Now, I don't hear it coming out yet, but if I keep rolling it, you're going to hear it come not just from here, but you're going to hear it come from the speaker on the side. All right. So that's up almost all the way. I'm getting some distortion, so I don't want it that high, but I've got it here. So I definitely have some distortion still coming through. So you would want to adjust some things like lower your volume on the amp, maybe roll up the volume on your ukulele, that type of thing. So this is a decent amplifier. I would say it's really just good for a room about this size, maybe 20 feet by 20 feet maximum. It's not going to really provide enough sound for you. And when you play through like audio through it, it's going to be a very high range of frequencies that it's going to be putting out. It doesn't have a very good low volume as you go. So if you just need to just barely bump the sound, maybe you're in a ukulele group and you're supposed to be like the soloist or something, it's decent, but it is pretty low power. So, all right, and that was the Luna Guitars Suitcase amplifier. Okay, so the next amplifier I want to show you is in this case right here. This is the orange Acoustic Crush 30, and I bought a case for it because we needed a power cord, and we needed an audio cord to always go with us, and this has pockets for all of those things, and it fits very, very well. I'll tell you, do not lose the power cord for this because it costs like $40 or $50. It's crazy. So that's partly why we bought the cases. And so it comes out like this. This is kind of the next step up. If you're looking to play live or busk, that kind of thing, it definitely has a lot of sound to it and has a lot of options for you. So it is a 30-watt amp, and it has two inputs on this one. I'm just going to turn this over here, just like that. And so we've got, this looks pretty complicated, and orange amps, they have their own kind of system for doing things. Let's see if I can come in a little bit close. So we've got an input here. This could be for microphone, or it could be for a 1/4-inch jack like I showed you before. And then it has a second channel for just a 1/4-inch input, right? And so these controls here in white are controlling each one of those inputs. So we've got bass, we have mids, we have highs, and then this here is just boosting your signal, right? And then on the bottom, we have for the microphone input, we have the bass or treble. There's no mid control there. And then some other buttons like if you need phantom power for your microphone, right? Or if you're using a microphone, or if you're using a line in. So over here, this is nice. We have an auxiliary in, just like our last one we had. This does not have Bluetooth. Fishman is a company that makes amps, and they have a Bluetooth system where you can, connect it to that, which is fine. I actually prefer to use something analog like this because I know I can fix it on the fly and I don't need to go in my app and try to reconnect Bluetooth. I don't know if you guys ever run into that. That's a headache. So you got that there. And then we have some cool things here. We either have reverb or we have chorus effects. I use reverb a lot, and the reverb on these can be crazy deep. It can be like you're in a cave somewhere and like a rock fell. It's like really nice and deep. And then we have, you can choose whether you want to put the reverb on channel 1 or channel 2 or somewhere in between. That's really nice. And then this knob here at the end is telling you how much of the effect you want, none or a lot. And then up here, there's a roll-off switch. This is really nice for if you have some frequencies, like you're in a band, and for some reason it doesn't sound good in the mix somewhere, you can scoop out those frequencies you don't want to have, right? If you're a ukulele player, maybe you want to have a little bit more upper range and you're trying to cut some of the low end or the middle frequencies, right? And then the very last one, this is like a global volume for everything, right? You can just raise it up there. Now, a couple things in the back too. This is really, really important, all right? So if you like effect pedals and that kind of thing, which is fine. I usually don't use it on this, but you can send something out to those pedals and then have it come back and go through the system. So that way you're hearing everything out of your amp. That's fine. What I do use a lot though is this balanced out. All right, so if you go and you play music somewhere, oftentimes they'll have a sound guy and he'll ask, do you need a DI box? And that just means something they can plug in that they can use for their sound system, right? Now, if you use this as kind of a monitor for what you're playing, but you also want it to sound exactly the same when it comes out of the speakers that the sound guy has, you can have the audio come out of here and then also send it out to the sound guy, and it should sound the same when it comes out of their system. So this is called a balanced out. Very, very useful. DI boxes can usually cost $100 to $200, so that you can even save yourself bringing one and buying one. Now this does have battery power. There are 10 AA batteries in here, so if you do use this amplifier and you're planning on playing it live with no power, then I would recommend getting some rechargeable batteries back here, and then you can put those in. I have them in right now, and they do last quite a while. I think it can play up to 4 hours straight with without killing the batteries. So depending on how loud you have it, right? Very, very useful amplifier. Use this all the time. We play at farmers markets, things like that. If you don't have a massive space you're trying to make loud and you just like a couple of effects, this is really great. You can just bring 2 of these, some mic stands, and your ukuleles, and basically you're good to go. Really nice, very handy. We are going to play out of it now. Do a little same test I did before. All right, so I've got the orange amp plugged in, and I'm just going to do a little test first. And that's no reverb at all. What I've noticed already just from playing out of it is I have a lot more middle and like low sounds that I wasn't getting before. It's just a little bit bigger speaker. I think it's a 10-inch speaker, something like that. So just a lot more warmth out of it. Let's go ahead and turn up the reverb a little bit. So turning it up slightly. This is like on number 2. So I just did that. Now you can hear it's going a while. Got a really cool like Jeff Buckley reverb sound to it, in my opinion. Now I'll tell you, just for vocals, it makes your vocals sound ridiculously great. So with that reverb in there, it's like you're in a, I don't know, in the biggest space you want to have. So I'm gonna turn it like all the way up just to show you. Might feedback here. Crazy, right? So that's not even all the way. Here's more. I'm gonna get some feedback if I keep it that high. So But anyway, I love this amp. I would buy them again anytime. Fantastic. So that's kind of the next step up. If you need like a moderately loud system, then I'm going to show you an electric ukulele amplifier next. All right, and the next thing we've got here is a Fender Pro Junior amplifier. It's very heavy because it's got tubes in the back. So if you're looking for, I mean, I would call this a professional amplifier. If you're using like a guitar like electric guitar like ukulele, definitely recommend this. It's got these JJ tubes in the back of it, 6L6 type of things. Now, if you're not sure any of this kind of stuff, check out your local music store, see if they have somebody that knows how to work on these, because sometimes the tubes, they die. They're generally made in Russia, and like it's using like 1950s technology for most of this stuff. So definitely I would ask a professional if you happen to get one of these. I got one of these used many years ago, and they're kind of expensive now if you buy something new. So I would try to find something that's a little more on the used side if you can. I think I bought it for $200, which now these might be 500 or 600. I have no idea. You have to look them up. But stupid easy to figure out. It just has volume and tone. And then the volume obviously makes it louder. The tone is just going to give it more of a snarl or like a drier sound, I guess you could say. So if you're looking for that rock and roll type of sound, I'm going to plug it in here in my ukulele and I'll show you what it sounds like. All right, well, I've got my ukulele plugged into the amp. So you need to decide, like, what kind of sound are you going for? Do you want it to sound more rock and roll like? Do you want unlimited volume? And with an electric ukulele like this, you can, if you have the right amplifier, you can turn it super loud if you need to. My Pro Junior right now is on 2. And it goes up to 12. This is very loud, super duper loud. And the tone I have about on 10. Okay. So the cool thing about electric ukuleles though is that if you like changing your sounds, that is really fun to do. So, and that's, you know, you could use other amplifiers will have effects, but if you like having pedals that you can plug into, I'll show you that in a second, you can do that. If you have guitar stuff already, you can use all this stuff that you have already at your disposal. And you know, maybe you're in a cover band and you want to have just a little bit higher sounding guitar, but then also some effects. That is definitely an option that you have. So anyway, here it is clean. I'm gonna, wow, I gotta turn down a little bit. It's still a little bit loud. So, let's, if we were doing like Paranoid from Black Sabbath, it would sound like this, like. All right, so it's kind of chiming really, really high. It's definitely got a lot of trebleness to it, right? So when you use something like a pedal, let's see what we got here. And this is just like one of the settings that I had in here. Obviously, it's turned down quite a bit, but you can do some of your open chords. Right, it's I have it very, very turned down as you go. So learning power chords and things like that for an instrument like this and this amp configuration can work pretty well. So, but anyway, so that is an option for you if you have an electric ukulele. After that, if you're plugging into a system that's quite loud, let's say you had a performance that you're going to do and you need to do a lot louder vocals and you can plug in. We have an EV system that I like a lot, and it has like 6 different inputs for that. I don't have it with me today, but if you're looking to go even bigger, you can plug into like a mixer and into something like that. And we're talking a few grand for a system like that. So I'm guessing you don't need something like that, but if you do, definitely check it out. And if you are able to make it to Indiana and check out like Sweetwater, something like that, you can go into a room and they have I don't know, probably 50 different systems set up that you can try out and use your ears to hear what you like the best and something that fits into your budget. Definitely would recommend that. But my recommendations today, you've got a few different things that you can think about. Just think about what your needs are, and then maybe also where you want to be, in the next few years with what you're doing. If you're totally happy playing at home in your room, you've got those options. If you want to be able to go out and play out and different things like that, you have those options too. So I really recommend the orange amps. They're a little on the pricey side, but I find that they're just a beautiful live busking amp. Can pretty much do everything that you need. I've never had any problems with them at all. But yeah, just a really good overall amp. I hear Fishmans are good too. I haven't really messed with them at all, but yeah, definitely my recommendation. So hope you all have fun playing your ukuleles and amplifying them up. And if you don't have a way to plug in your ukulele, you can always use a microphone on an acoustic instrument. And that can work too, to varying results. Now, if you back up too far or something like that, then you're not going to be picked up. But artists have done this in the past just with regular microphones. So when Paul McCartney recorded Ram way back in the day, he was just using microphones that he had. It's probably like a condenser mic. And then live on stage, I've even seen him just use like an SM58 type of thing, or 57 instrument mic, something like that. It's possible, but if you want to have some control or be able to walk around, you have those options too. So, well, hope you all have a great day and happy strumming. Bye-bye.